Good morning, viewers. This is another in our series of legal literacy, where we take topical issues and discuss them. And today, we shall be taking on the topic insecurity in Southern Kaduna, implications on right to life. That is the topic that we shall be looking at this morning. And in treating this topic, I do know that it's a common knowledge that we know that the right to life is a right that is recognized all over the world. Indeed, the different constitutions and the different laws that we have in different parts of the world do recognize and do acknowledge that right to life. Because if you ask me, it is the mother of all rights. It is the right that exists before any other right can be enjoyed. So, without an individual having life, honestly, there is no way such one can enjoy any right at all outside of that right to life. The Constitution of Nigeria, in its 33rd session, that is section 33 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, recognizes that right to life. And apart from this, if you look at Article 4 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, this right is also enshrined there. Besides, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights also do make provision in its Article 4 for the right to life. And so these facts underscore the importance of the right to life that everyone must enjoy. And in also treating this topic and to be able to do it well, it is important that we also know that the crisis in Southern Kaduna, and even in any part of Nigeria, and even by extension in any part of the world, does not only have implications for rights to life, it goes ahead to also have implications for rights to or acquire and own property. Besides this, it also affects right to the dignity of the human person. And if you look at Section 43 of the Nigerian Constitution, you will agree with me that the right to acquire and own property is clearly enshrined the same way that we can see the same thing in Article 14 and 17 of the African Charter on People and Human Rights and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, respectively. All these are provided for in these charters and the constitution of various countries. And so the question again is, what is the implication of the right to life? One, the implication of right to life is simply that an individual has the right not to be killed without justification. That is, you have a right to enjoy your life, to live your life, to have your life. And for that not to be taken away by anyone without justification. And when we say justification, the same Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in Section 33 also makes or provides clearly situations where this life can be justifiably taken away. And I can tell you that whatever is put in that Section 33 or whatever is provided for in that Section 33 has nothing to do with what is happening in Southern Kaduna or any other part of Nigeria for that matter. And so, whichever way we look at it, the killings and the wanton destruction of properties that we have in Southern Kaduna and any other part of Nigeria for that matter does not conform with the law. And so, it is a gross and a total violation of the rights of every individual that is concerned by that. And apart from this, the implication of right to life that we have here it also extends to mean that an individual has right to be rescued from impending death. That is, if there is an approaching death, an individual has that right to be protected from that impending death. The question again is this: who has the duty to actually make sure citizens enjoy these rights? That is the big question that we're going to pose. Now, without hesitation, it is clearly the government of every nation that has a fundamental duty to protect the lives and property of people. And so, if you ask me, it is the basis for which any government exists. It is for us to be able to avoid chaos in the society. It's for us to be able to avoid a situation where every man is against every man, and it becomes a situation of the survival of the fittest. That people have come together in the first place to say, let's organize ourselves for government, and so that all of us can submit the powers we have. All of us can submit all the strength that we have and donate this to a particular institution called government who is going to protect the interests of everyone. And interest this here has to do with the right to life, the right to acquire your own property, and the right to the dignity of your person as a human being. And so we look at these rights as fundamental. They are fundamental because they are inalienable. You can never take them away from anyone. Because as long as an individual is born a human being, is automatically entitled to these rights. And nobody can justifiably, except for reasons that law itself has provided, take away such rights from anyone. And so the crisis in Kaduna or any part of Nigeria where there have been killings, where have been wanton destruction of property of individuals, honestly have been gross violations of the rights of the people involved. And so we state categorically that it will amount to a failure on the part of government if government does not do things quickly to put pay to these killings, to put an end, in specific words, to the killings and this quantum of destruction to property and human life that is going on in different parts of the country. And apart from this, a lot of other implications also arise from whatever that are happening in this part of Nigeria. Some of which include that you are also taking away the dignity of human beings because of this crisis. A lot of IDPs or camps have been created. That is, people have been internally displaced, and before you know it, people are meant to run away from their homes. People are meant to desert their communities and run to places where that have been designated for them. Where you see people come locked up. I mean, you hardly see good sanitary conditions. You hardly see good living environment for them. And so this has very serious implication also for the dignity of the persons involved. I mean, you see women exposed to unnecessary harassment. You see women, sanitary conditions are bad. Every condition that anybody can think about, I mean, are bad in these camps. And so nobody can actually compare the situations in these internally or displaced persons camps to what happens in the homes where these people have been displaced. And so what we are saying basically, our position basically is that it is the duty of government. It is the primary responsibility of government. In fact, it is the sole reason for which government exists, that government should be able to do what? Put a stop, protect the lives of people. Because these lives have been guaranteed them by the Constitution, which is the ground law, which is the law from where every other law derives its validity in this country and all over the world. And so it will amount to a total failure on the part of government if government cannot actually rise up to this duty and call up to the challenge that is being posed to it in different parts of Nigeria, but specifically in Southern Kaduna as it is today. And so, government should do everything within its powers to see that from time to time, things like this do not arise in any part of Nigeria. And where they do arise, that government acts fast to put an end to these issues, to put an end to these killings, to put an end to this destruction of people's property, because it's a gross violation of the rights that are being provided these ones, that we say are fundamental, that we say are inalienable, that we say cannot be taken away from them, that we say they are born with, that we say come from the fact that they are born human beings. And so it is important that government rises to the occasion and do what is necessary, or in this case. And so, lastly, we are saying, what should a government do in situations like this? It is simple. One, government must do everything security-wise to see that issues like these, killings, are not allowed to take place in any part of Nigeria at all. That is the first important thing, because we have said that many times, and we can't emphasize that enough, that is the primary responsibility of government. It is the sole reason why the government exists in the first place. Because if an individual is not alive, you can begin to imagine who is not alive cannot enjoy the right to movement, who is not alive cannot enjoy the right to speech, who is not alive, and everybody will come to a point where we begin to put this behind us. And so, issue of compensation is very, very important in the steps that governments must take at every point in time. And even though we know that there is no enough monetary compensation that can, or pay that can be adequate for the lives of people, but then it goes a long way to actually want to bring succor to people, to actually want to alleviate the sufferings of dependence of those who have lost their lives, of those who have lost property. Because a lot of people right now have lost so much that they are without nothing. A lot of people have lost so much that they don't even have homes to sleep. They don't even have where to put food on their table. They don't even know where to get the next meal from. All these are what people are passing through right now in southern Kaduna and in all parts of Nigeria, where we have issues of insecurity, where we have issues of communal clashes, and all what or may. And so, these three things, government, we are saying, lawyers are like to say, government must embark upon to see that these things become a thing of the past in our society. Because actually, it is the justification for which a government exists. It is the justification for which a society has organized itself, and a society has said, we are appointing you as leaders to be able to do this. So, once again, we are saying what governments must do. One, that government must do everything within its capacity, within its powers, because we know government has the powers, as long as the political will is there. It is a political will that I think, personally, we lack in Nigeria, that we think all these things are going on, and government appears shamed. Government appears handicapped. Government can never be in any way be handicapped. All the powers are there. It is for government to have the political will to say, we don't want any of this kind of insecurity to happen in any part of Nigeria. And once government decides that politically, and the will is there, I can assure everyone that this will become a thing of the past in our society. Then another thing governments must do is that government must at all times bring whoever tries or to go into this, to do things that we be interpreted and we amount to an infringement on the rights of people to life, must bring such perpetrators to book. People must see that they go through prosecution. At the end of the day, they are punished. And once they are punished, honestly, it goes a long way to actually bring succor. It goes a long way to actually bring solace. It goes a long way to actually bring satisfaction to people. Because once you know, so and so person does it, he was punished. So and so person does it, she was punished. Honestly, it will serve as a deterrent to others and make them refrain totally from embarking on that. And the third one, which is the last but not the least, is that governments must embark on compensation. We must be able to compensate these people that have lost lives, dependents of those who have lost their lives, and to people who have lost property, because they have the right to own property. And if somebody else has come for one reason or the other, has come to take away this property, and it's the duty of government to protect them in the first place, government has failed in that duty, in my own estimation. It then means that government should consider it its duty to actually compensate these ones for these things. And once these three things are done, and so many other things that we cannot mention here, then I can tell you and we believe that or insurgencies that we have in different parts of Nigeria or clashes, communal clashes that we experience in different parts of Nigeria will become a thing of the past. Thank you once again. Thank you very much.